On page 109 of the annual report, it notes New Hope does not consider there to be significant risk of climate change materially impacting New Acland Stage 3. The New Acland Stage 3 project outcomes once current approvals are received. Have the recent climate policy shifts in Japan, Korea and China changed that view at all? Which markets are expected to be buying New Acland coal towards the end of its extended life?
Well, I think the Acland Stage 3 extension, again, is only until the late 2030s, so we're not talking longer than a couple of decades. Some of the initiatives that have been introduced by some of the markets that were talked about in the question, those changes, there'll be, as I said, a transition, but those changes are not absolute for many decades beyond the period that we're talking about. We are required, in making that statement, and for New Hope to make that statement, they're required to assess all of the factors involved, including the outlook for coal prices, and we're very comfortable with that statement and the fact that there will be a market for coal that will be profitable because the supply and demand characteristics are such that if the price of coal falls too low, the supply will cease to exist. And particularly when you look at the cost graph that I put up in my presentation, there are a lot of global suppliers who are much, much higher cost than the assets that we have. So those mines will go out of production and cease to be profitable if the commodity price falls too low, and of course that would then create a higher coal price going forward.
And also in some of those countries that were mentioned in that question, they are actually still building high energy, low emission coal plants. And those plants will run for 30 or 40 years.